Welcome in for week 10 of the Replies, where we break down the most viral moments each week of the Big Ten football season. I'm Emily Eamon, your host, joined by former Buckeye Joshua Perry and former Husker Kenny Bell. Guys, starting it off, the Spoilermakers did it again, taking down top 5 and previously unbeaten Michigan State. And they did it with finesse. David Bell was out here disrespecting Sparty's defense with moves like this. Kenny, how impressive was Bell this game?
Good cousin Bell, another show-out week. You love to see it. These Boilermakers, I said it last week, and they were quietly putting together a great season, and it's not very quiet anymore. And they've got a big one against Ohio State, JP, this week. You a little nervous?
You leave me out of this, okay? All right? I am a little bit nervous. I'll be completely honest with you, but you leave me out of this one. This ain't about us.
One of the craziest plays we've seen all season that led to a Boiler touchdown. You'll see it here. Joshua, bring me inside the mind of a Michigan State defender here. What's going on?
I couldn't tell you. Like, that is one of the craziest things I've seen. Jeff Brom, obviously a great play caller. He literally drew that one up in the dirt, was like, okay, you guys do this, then do that, then throw it back there and hope something good happens, which it did. It was awesome. But you could see by the end of the play, the Michigan State players were like totally gassed because they're chasing guys from one side of the field to the next and then all the way down the field. And it just throws you back to the days where you were tossing the ball around the backyard.
All right, Purdue has Ohio State again this weekend. You guys touched on it. Kenny, any predictions? Can they do it again?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, they can do it again. College football that's why they play every Saturday. So can they? Absolutely. Will they? The Buckeyes are looking tough, and they've shown this year after like a tough battle, they usually come out firing. I'm interested to see this one, and this SpongeBob meme about want to see me do it again. I would love to see you do it again, Boilermakers. Go get JP, bring him down a notch.
Anytime you can sprinkle in a little bit of the SpongeBob memes, I'm here for it. And I agree with you. They 100% can do it again. And so the Buckeyes, they better have their eyes wide open this week.
Next up, Illinois got another huge road win as they took down Minnesota, and punter Blake Hayes was feeling this one. JP, I know you're loving all the pettiness this season, but it seems like teams are getting more and more creative with these celebrations.
Yeah, it was wild. And like Illinois was doing the little, row the boat deal throughout the game. It's extra petty when the specialists start to get involved, though, because these cats aren't on the field all that much. So they've been thinking about what they want to do for the chance when they do get on the field. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, oh man, for a punter to do that at the end of the game, I mean, you know what? I guess I'm a little just salty about this because Iowa's kicker, like hushing Nebraska as a couple of years ago, and like there's something that just it rubs me the wrong way when kickers do disrespectful things on the football field. However, I am here for the pettiness, and that celebration was A1. I'll give it to him.
The Illini have another ranked opponent on the road again after the bye week with Iowa. KB, can they keep this streak going?
Yeah, I think so. Iowa has their hands full with Minnesota this week, with Minnesota coming off that home loss. So we'll see. Iowa definitely has some work to do, and then they've got a date in Lincoln. So you never know. With late in November, Big Ten football is very hard to predict. That's why I'm not a gambling man when it comes to Big Ten football. So could it happen? Absolutely.
Yeah, and you look at that game specifically, like who's going to be playing tight in that game? Iowa. Iowa's going to be playing tight because, they still got things out there to play for. Who's going to be loose with nothing to lose?
Yeah.
That's when it's dangerous.
Up next, this hairdo from Minnesota's Coe Keef stole the show. As the caption says, JP, describe this hairdo in 3 words.
3 words. These should be 3 safe for work words, or these should be any 3 words of my choosing. I can't do it. And I'm supposed to be a wordsmith in this industry. I mean, this is absolutely wild. But the confidence it takes, because you got to go out on campus looking like that. The confidence it takes to rock a hairdo like that, I'm here for.
Yeah, it's one thing to rock it on Saturdays, but I always think about like he's in college and he's around town quite often.
He's going into calculus.
Yeah, he walked into one of his night classes like that, and I'm sure people were a little bit scared. But good on him for having the confidence to rock it. That's for sure.
For me, it's huge. receiver in the country now. Hey, talk to me one time. It's not debatable.
Up next, Penn State's Jahan Dotson might be one of the best receivers in the country. Last weekend, he set Penn State's single-game receiving record with 242 yards and recorded 3 touchdowns. Kenny, what is it about Dotson that makes him so elite?
It's his route running and his ability to separate. Last year, JP and I were playing that draft game, fantasy football, and I was honestly trying to pick this dude every single week. He's had a little bit quieter of a year this year, and it's not so much that, but there's been other studs across the entire Big Ten. I mean, you look across, Good Cousin Bell had one heck of a weekend. Jackson Smith and Jigba had one heck of a weekend in Lincoln, and I was finally like, man, Garrett Wilson's out. Maybe we can get some stops and turn it around. So the wide receiver position is deep this year in the Big Ten, but hats off to Jahan Dotson, because what a show he put on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, you look at some of the performances, you name the wide receivers, and it's wild. Like, you got 3 guys who went off for over 200 yards catching the football, but then you look at some of the quarterbacks too. Aiden O'Connell throwing for over 500 yards, CJ Stroud went for over 400. Like, there were some performances, some stats this weekend that were being racked up, and I think it shows the quality of player that exists here in the Big Ten Conference.
I agree. You're looking at Big 12, Pac-12 receiver stat lines, and you don't see those up north this time of year. So it's really cool to see, and you're absolutely right. It's advocates for how good that position is in this conference this year.
To finish up here, JP, you won this year's head-to-head with the Buckeyes and the Huskers. Kenny's definitely been down in the dumps a bit lately, but I'll let you each give a thought here. JP, starting with you.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny, your Huskers, they did a great job. They made it a close game, kind of put some situations out there that had me chewing some Tums. I had a little bit of heartburn. In the end, my Buckeyes were able to pull it out, and I'm thankful for that. But I will say that I do believe that the Huskers have a bright future simply because of how hard that they're playing football. It's got to pop at some point, like Scott Frost has said.
I do agree, even though you just patronized me after your victory. I do think there's a lot to take away from that game, a lot of positive for the Huskers to take away. Man, that defense is something special. JoJo Domann is one of my favorite players to watch in the conference right now. So there's a lot to take away from it if you're a Husker fan. I know it's getting late in the season. You're looking at that record and you're disappointed, but there's definitely some upside to how those boys are playing football. And heading into these last few weeks, I know everybody's got Black Friday circled, so it's going to be an interesting end. So I'll tip my hat to you, JP, and obviously the Buckeyes, but I do see things looking up for the Huskers.
4 losses to top 10 teams by a combined 22 points. Like, I mean, the margin is that close for them. So I see this thing turning around.
Hope you all enjoyed week 10 of the Replies. We'll catch you next week, and thanks for watching.